أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر
क्या तार दिखा?
अहनस
कचु पोसे
हाँ 10 रुपये
5 रुपया की
बस बस
There isn't a place that has been crafted and decorated as Kashmir. Engulfed in abundance and so perfectly placed that even the glimpse of the most severe sight can set 100 quills aright. Balancing the slender and the delicate with the gigantic and the jagged, Kashmir lives its paradox very aesthetically. Seasons end. Winter. The snow covers everything. Everything. Even haikus would freeze here. The surface of the famous Dal Lake in the capital of Kashmir, Srinagar, lies suspended. Weighing the sight of his consigned boat, here stands a boy, little 9-year-old Arif. He rises early, every day, in the bitter winter mornings to dig out his frozen boat. Having cleared this daily trial of half an hour, Arif sets out on another ground. The task of finding customers to row. Ferrying the first customer, Arif rose hope towards his family. A family of 6 members, 5 children and an ailing mother. Rosie, the eldest, is taking care of the family because their mother has gone out for a routine medical checkup. This is the family he earns for, and at the age of 9, he is the man of the house. Winter in Kashmir is a very severe deal. It often makes the locals wonder, is it a blessing or is it a blight? With the temperature falling to a record low, this is a time of great concern for Arif. Living mostly hand to mouth, the frozen lake means no way to row his boat. He utilizes the delay to collect firewood. Looking out, Arif gazes upon the lake, his firmament. Long hard months of winter lie ahead. He may be able to quell the screaming mouth. Quelling the stomach would not be so easy. Pulling away the hurdles, the distances do get by. And then, winter starts to yield. The warm sum of the sun finally convinces it to be born again. Seasons end. Then, seasons start. Months and months of hiding behind winter, spring bursts in smiling. Everything is abuzz, and nature gets busy in this beautiful bowl of wonder called Kashmir. As if to reciprocate the peace inspired by spring, Pakistan and India moved a step closer. The two countries opened up a bus route that joined the divided land of Kashmir. This bus route, called the Srinagar-Muzaffarabad Road, would be the first time that a peaceful effort would cross the LOC since independence in 1947. It had heavy political patronage and was hailed as a big step towards finding a solution to the Kashmiri problem.
ये ठेला ठेला
क्या है निकलेगा निकल 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 इसको निकल
One day before the flag-off, on the 6th of April 2005, little Arif makes his way through the streets and roads to his aunt's house. Passing the tourist reception center that comes in his way, and from where the bus would be flagged off, Arif walks on and into a lifetime threat. Suddenly, the tourist reception center where the bus passengers were housed comes under attack.
अचानक से ये धमाको गोले स्मैश हो रहे चलान गोले औरत मुझे चाहा औरत मुझे बच्चा मुझे बुरटनस एक मिलिट्री वेल क्या रटना दोनों सुबह ये आते हैं उसके साथ ये बस ज़बान क्या मैं घूम
After heavy exchange of fire, the engagement was terminated. Both terrorists were neutralized. 13 people were injured and the bus passengers were safe. But the reception center was burnt down to the ground. Not bending to the situation, the bus was nonetheless flagged off, and a grand reception was the invitation. Through the efforts of the local PDP government, it was after a gap of over half a century that both sides of Kashmir had embraced each other.
This is the break की बात की मतलब अगर break अच्छी
अगर तब प्रति को बुला
चल क्या कर बस में क्या चल
तो सी पाप मुझे है तो क्या सी बता तो सा चीज़ तुम गलत वो कम मारा इसी के अंदर दोस्त बांध जो था जब मारस ना से कुछ पे सारी खुद करने से याद
कुछ पाप
क्या है
मतलब ये चिकना यो काम मितमास
अगर खुदा रिश्ते पाप की है तो भूल दिल
क्या
करते तो फिर ही
His boat piled up with the bounties of nature, Arif is set on a 7-kilometer long journey. Occasionally, he rows some extra miles to earn extra money by running sundry chores. This time, he has been hired by a vegetable vendor to row his produce.
मुआ मार खेलने
कितना पे शुक्र उसका मामा
चाहिए
क्या चक्कर में पोस्ट था
मनी है मनी शो ना सारा जन पोस्ट पता मुझे नहीं मनी तो कुछ कर पहुंच जाना बच्चे से
कोता को जमा
हैं
कोता को जमा
मैं समझ पाई कोता को क्यों
थकानी पकने अगर खुदा रिश्ते ना फाइटिंग
क्या करते हैं आलदाल करो तेल फट अगर सोप खाओ तेल का खा
It's been almost 2 years now since Arif set sail, but yet not enough to sail smoothly. Another lesson for the day: shortcuts don't work. The floating vegetable market, a Kashmiri singularity that assembles early in the morning on the Dal Lake, is a riot of green. About 200 boats congregate and trade for the day. Picking up a friend made some days ago, Arif makes his way home, having done a day's work by the morning. A little bonus adds to Arif's earning today: bread and greens. Languid and easy he rose to his hut, his island of warmth by the side of the water.
Pata dravi var on slakot khur oslaman Godnich kamoyas me start si hurati tapat gayas va astan kromas tate 5.5 rapinias ar kuch me gar pakna asal pat agar na ar boat chala me variya himmat gasa kam alpin se tam sitim bema variya problem chas bemar da gas mami mogas bhat I can't make the promotion. But Kona's battle.
Good help from the back.
Huh?
Good help.
Ponzi shade.
What can you get?
Huh? To me, the Pama Misuko saw a same dona Joyce's color. It's a tiny joy must be. Sakur had on board and get to now. Shenas Monchuzam, time is a stall cutter legit and with his hour. To Vandos.
9 years ago in 1996, the separatist movement was still burning. For the second time since 1993, the terrorists had occupied the most revered shrine in the valley called Hazrat Bag. Their pattern was predictable: defile a mosque if you want headlines. They first hit the headlines in 1987 when, supported by the youth, they exploded in protest against a rigged election. The rise of militancy was meteoric since the year 1990. The noxious thinking reached its nadir in 1995 when, in absolute disregard of sanctity, they burnt up the shrine of Kashmir's patron Sufi saint at Sarare-Sharif. Since 1990, it is estimated that about 50,000 people have died a violent death in the valley. The army was sent in full force and it was clamped upon the valley. Many excesses were committed by them. On a deserted plain, deep into the desert of Thar, India knocked the world out of its sleep by exploding 3 nuclear devices in May 1998. The world was rattled. 3 days later, Pakistan followed suit and detonated 5 devices. Now Kashmir is one of the most dangerous places in the world. The history of the Kashmiri conflict started in 1947. And since then, wars have been fought in 1965 and 1971. In 1984, the two countries opened up another conflict zone, the Siachen Glacier, the highest battle zone in the world. Today, India and Pakistan spend millions of dollars to maintain its troops there. Tens of thousands have been displaced, murdered, abducted, raped, orphaned, and pained. Painful scars that keep the memory alive.
Yes, militant was yeah, I'm a guard to the Pongas and near Agan and near the Lasachi Catragas. Nina's been loaded. Ponga spear animal, Nika Parnacata. Sora Perniki and points must you and say Biaman pistol mangipet. When a spar Nika Park can be more duel sister. Time visits my was Bahaveri, that little panda, Shuravi. You should do what you want. Chama sharab chama duha charast chama gari chama avai shuran botal thi chama ये नाश करा बेक्या दुहा यमा शाम मसी त लड़ाई करे सुबह वथा त लड़ाई करे अमिस आद थी गोमुत यस पे यापर निवान वेरिया मज दिवान मंगार हुपर निवान दिवान मंगार अथन लग में सिगरेट ये क्या अथन लग में सिगरेट बेट ताम विजस में रोजी जामत ये विजय में सिगरेट बेट लग या बस शाम बच्चा क्या चाहिए तो करे तो पतलो है ऊपर की पे कोलेस्ट्रॉल है ऊपर की अगर रेस्ट खूब
कम सीट लो नहीं
हैं
कम सीट लो नहीं
ताला में 5 टॉस
तो कमिस लाया
सॉरी
कमिस लाना
जिलास्ते बायास्ते मेटी दीदी तो
लड़ाई करन छा असल किन खराब कैसे बायस करना लड़ाई
आदे करा काम से कॉलस मुझे करा घंटस
पापा से क्या रिश्ते
कहिन खरा
तो क्या शिकवे मांगना
हैं मैंने करते यारी ओए मैंने स्माइलस माज बेचे
ते मोल छिलाया से कितने निकल बना देने से कर दिया
हैं
ते मोल छिलाया से कितने निकल बना देने से कर दिया हां सच बना में मोल खरा
नाचे
ते कितने निकल बना देने से लाया से करे में
मे पाई अमिश गोडने जाना मे समख लड़की तमिस जाना ये लज मे खानदर कर रोज इज्जत पर सह फील मे गोमुत सह फील नीर मे जिंदगी भर कहें टोटल नीर मे कहें अगर बह मार ना सह रोज मे तोत कब्रे मज पे गो मे पन्ने जाए फील मे लड़ाई लाजि नुमाई लज पे तूज मे तो छोपुन मेस्तिल माचिस दिस मे अमी गड छोड़ मे मेस्तिल पानस अम दिस मे माचिस दिस मे तुज तो बस अत लज रेह यीच रेह खुदा दिन नजात रेह क्या लज
Having lived through an eternity of torture, Farida is just 25.
बिचार सड़क पे रोज कोत बेचनाया बे क्या वो तो गई वन खराब मेन हिशे कर मगर इन बच्चे गसान आबाद रोज बह बेच मगर इन पे मे सठा शौक बह आरिफ वुचन पन्ने गाड़ मज कुर्सी तो गस अमिस वुचन तो पेन तो गस अमिस अथस क्या वुचन अद गस बह मारन तोताम गस बह मारन कहें
Things are now looking up in Kashmir. Minuscule a decade ago, now the schools have very healthy attendance.
Shabash, wash maz tutun kiyen. Like
Leaving them as swiftly as they adopted him, their little bundle of joy was caught in the path of a careless car.
गए बाय बोट असतं
कितके
पळी तेmis go बोट असतं पूर्ती तिनकर जियत द्रुग असं सगळं बोट तर
जे बोट तक चलावी अच्छा तक बोट बाय चलावी कितके
बाय अब ऐसे ऐसा और फिर कोशिश की हम बान वैसे स्टेट बोट बार असतं बानना
अगर ने आरिफ पोस कमाए हैं फिर क्या करियो तो
इसमें ज़मीन हम मकान बनाओ बुए पढ़नाओ दीदी करो खानदार मम्मी वाने ते आनस जो वाने ते आनस Jama puasa, pacim bulan mana sekarang pacak kana. Tas puasa. Bukan pandai puasa. Saya mau begitu. कबूतर बैठे दीवार पर एक कबूतर गिर गया बोलो कितना रह गया सात सात कबूतर बैठे दीवार पर एक कबूतर गिर गया बोलो कितना रह गया छह 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 कबूतर बैठे दीवार पर एक कबूतर गिर गया.
On a path of lava and an evening star fading, all hopes in Kashmir hope for a way out of the middle. An unknown faith moved the mountains on the 8th of October 2005. The earthquake measured 7.6 on the Richter scale. In a minute, two tearing nations were united in grief. About 50,000 were confirmed dead. Large parts of the area were devastated. Epicentered in Muzaffarabad, 95 kilometers from the Pakistani capital of Islamabad, the quake caused damage in the city of Srinagar too. In this devastating earthquake, Arif's house was not spared either. Already a rickety structure, it now stands precariously. Repairs cannot be postponed anymore. The repair work is major. Not having enough money to buy wood, they asked their neighbors to donate them some. Making an exit as quick as his entry, Sultan, the father, doesn't care at all and just rides away, leaving the family to find their own means. He is the one who has boarded them in, and now he's back for repairs. Probably realizing that this is the only place where he spends his horrific nights, he returns. Like preparing a cage, it seems. It is ironic that the house that he is repairing will be the same one in which his very presence is terrifying. After hut repair, it's hut preservation. Having saved for months, this huge waterproof sheet will give years of comfort. With the purchase and a brother in hand, Arif walks through the most famous media frame of Kashmir today. Pointing fingers, untrusting eyes, and a haze unclear. One wonders who after all is being protected. In a place where a note can caress a trigger, trouble can erupt anywhere. A bullet here, a bomb there. Kashmiris have learnt to live this minefield. Seeing the people out in festive numbers and a pall lifted up, calm flitters by, but harmony is still far away.
ये दे 10 रुपया, हाँ 10 रुपया का, 10 रुपया वो दे.
Still out on the streets, the noise of colour draws in the two boys. A cricket match live on colour TV. This is something that they just long to see. A shout stumps them. Obviously, the shop owner doesn't like stray children. There is some anticipation in the air, something eagerly awaited for. It can only be felt. The pulse is in the air. And as the day withdraws, shining through till evenfall, the missive is seen. the new crescent moon, the harbinger of the festival of Eid. Back home, the family waits to see the festival shopping. Arif safely hands over all that he bought and saved outside. Neat and clean with new caps, the brothers, led by Arif, make their way to offer prayers at the Jama Masjid, the largest mosque in Kashmir. A sentiment of great value to Islam is that of charity. Passing by some mendicants, Arif has enough to spare them a few coins. This mosque holds the largest attendance of the faithful in the valley. A crowd of such numbers is heartening to see, given the situation of trouble-torn Kashmir. Yasa, trying to remember what to do, looks around for clues. With the prayers over and the celebrations about to start, the brothers run back home announcing their intention loud and clear. The festivities complete with the family spreading out that which really symbolizes Eid for them, a covering that they desperately need. A piece of plastic now plays the bone of contention. Grieved at being divested of his gun, Adil lets his ammunition flow.
गोली ठासन क्या था ठासन बम ठासन हमेशा मारा तो सस्ते सस्ते
मारून छा कस असल के न खराब
बिल्कुल सॉरी मारा को तो क्या रोज नहीं काम है को तो क्या करो ना कहाँ चीज़ आने क्या किया हम ये बाबा कर दो Lucas assim, e tem muricete. E teus cabeça mandraio. So, teus petos hamuda sanite. So mandar no.
These ruined houses tell the story of an uprooted community. The Kashmiri Hindus, 350,000 of them, were insidiously and ethnically uprooted in 1990. Assassinations and massacres, primarily by the Hizbul Mujahideen and the JKLF, the two leading terrorist outfits, were commonplace. One by one, over 700 Hindus were killed. A few years later, the remaining Quantic residents were given another gruesome reminder of the terrorist savagery. In January of 1998, at Vandhama, 27 Hindus of a marriage party were killed in cold blood. Further, in March 2000, another minority group, the Sikhs, were murdered at Chhati Singhpura in a single bloody night. Refugees in their own country, they live resigned quietly to their fate, remembering days when time flowed smooth. Seasons are perhaps the only certainty that moves smoothly in present-day Kashmir. Autumn creeps in at first and then spreads its feathers. The leaves generously lend themselves to autumn. The situation on the ground is a different matter altogether. Unmindful of the yearly canvas, their life and that of the people remains unchanged. It is a trial indeed to be on either side. Life continues, be it sunrise or sunset. Preparations for winter start in autumn. The important exercise now for Arif and his brothers is to gather as many leaves as possible. In Kashmir, people carry a hearth on their person. The coal for this hearth is made from the leaves and branches. Hence, you need leaves. Lots and lots of leaves. The thin wafer-like remnants of the leaves are used as coal. Arif, in the early spring of his life, prepares warmth for his family which will sustain them through the long months of winter. Arif's boat is the lifeline of the family. Because he rows it, they stay afloat. This lifeline is now rupturing. Constant seepage into the boat has Arif bailing out water 4 to 5 times a day. That not helping anymore, Arif one morning hauls his boat to the repairer.
ये बोट बिल्कुल खस्ता हाल यानी कि अत रिपेयर काबिल तह कह बहरहाल गो मजबूरी मज कर रिपेयर ठीक अत लकड़ हालत बिल्कुल कमजोर पहन इसलिए मे कर अत कह कम ज्यादा कोर मे अत रिपेयर यम कि यह हे चलित पन गुजार यमन हे अमिस बचस चलित कील था जरूरत कील हाँ कील है कील
Firmly back on the ground now, the family floats safe on the water again. His lifeline restored, Arif is now braving a blow that threatens his backbone. This time the challenge sweeps aside all previous trials. Being illegal, the authorities have marked his hut for demolition. This could be perhaps one of his last meals in this house.
Sanok sore putrait lilam kairi ti sanok wala tomol go abas tel go abas sore sanok phan kairi kondachi beya हैं
ये छा तुह जमीन ये कहाँ जमीन छे
कम्युनिटी वाले
तेल कित कन छु वनाय छ गलत किन छु गलत अगर पका कम्युनिटी वाल बे यम फुटरावन मकान पत क्या करे
तो क्या करें Kiyene kya? Saad ke pad gaye. Diro. Ek bangala bayara.
This time, the authorities wanted the demolition to be permanent. Arif is fighting fate. Two nuclear nations are fighting to decide the fate of Kashmir. This costs them billions of dollars a year.
अच्छा अगर से खुदा सा बनी से कम 3 चीज गसने क्या वन
मेरे बोर्ड आख मकान मेरे 10 लाख रुपए मेरे क्या क्या मार हुई थी बे के मैंने 3 चीज
अगर 2 चीज बनी
क्या बाइक
अगर 5 चीज बनी
सीरिया काला टीवी साइकिल कैमरा एरोप्लेन शुक्रिया
Arpa!